Man, I can't seem to keep a promise, can I? Hello everyone, Blake Strife back at it again with a video at last. Pokemon Black with only slacking was a difficult task, but now let's try one which might be even more impossible. Today's the day we find out, can I beat Pokemon Y with a team of only one Goomy? Goomy is a first form dragon type Pokemon with base stats that are really bad with a total of 300. That's even lower than the starters. It has decent special defense, but low speed, which means we are not outspeeding anything early, but that's the least of our problems. Many factors are going to make this challenge pretty difficult, which include fairy types, Mega Evolution, and a champion that has both. We have a pretty big mountain to climb today. Let's go over the rules and regulations. In combat, I can only use Goomy. I'm allowed other Pokemon for HMs, but I'm not allowed to send them out in battle. No glitches or exploits, no items in battle except for Pokeballs, held items, and items outside of battle, and as an added bonus, no Pokemon are me or O powers for boots. That should make this even tougher. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe to the channel so Xerneas can give me the strength to make more videos. Let's do this. So, we use the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Fennekin with Goomy so we can do the whole run with it. I named it Blobby, cause well, look at it. Its ability is Sap Sipper, which gives us immunity to grass moves while also raising our attack stat. And its ability is Rash, which means more special attack and less special defense. Hopefully that lets us hit harder when we get better moves. So while I give Blobby some levels, I took the time to catch 5 Zigzagoons. I can't battle with them, but eventually I'll get the EXP share. Once they level up enough, they'll start picking up rare candies thanks to their ability, which will save us lots of time of grinding later. After holding hands with my group of friends and getting some dope rollerblades, I challenged the first gym. Viola's Surskit went down easy enough, but her Vivillon was a bit tankier as I couldn't take it down in time because of infestation. I tried a couple strategies after that with Tackle and Bite, and I got close, but I couldn't deal the finishing blow in time. After leveling up a bit more, I tried again and got the win, but only because Viola didn't once go for infestation. Why would she stop using the move that would most help her defeat me? Sometimes Pokemon AI can be really dumb, or sometimes just give you a break. After meeting some lab assistants, I got the return TM, which would be very useful later, and they took me to battle Professor Sycamore. After which, Blobby learned a better stab move in Dragon Breath, and I got to meet a man with a lion's mane haircut named Lysander. What is it with trainers modeling themselves after their Pokemon or teams? Anyway, disregarding that, we handled some more story stuff like paying back debts, watching fireworks in the daytime, and having some double battles with friends. And plus, battling some of these people in red outfits and weird hairdos. Seriously, when did evil teams think this was a good idea? After all that jazz, we made it to the second gym, and we started to notice the problems of our low stats. For example, this one trainer was a brick wall no matter how many times I battled her. Blobby just didn't have enough health to take the hits. After a bit of grinding, I squeezed by the trainer, but things were made even more apparent when I battled the gym leader Grant. I literally started laughing when I saw that I was easily one-shot by Amora's takedown. I honestly didn't see that coming. I thought it was a crit or a damage range, so I tried a couple of times after that, but nope, I was easily destroyed. Alright, back to the grind. I came back at level 35 and still got one shot by takedown. This to me seems like a bad omen of things to come. I tried a couple more times after that and somehow had this run where we both got paralyzed on the same turn, but Amora couldn't attack for 3 of them, letting me get the hits I needed to not only take him down, but also one-shot Tyrant with a single Dragon Breath to win the badge. Honestly, I didn't feel like I earned that victory. Once that was done, we headed toward the next town as we encountered more of these flame-colored henchmen as they were hanging around this field of rocks and pillars. Some of them were even more annoying than others, but we fought them off until one of them disappeared into a pile of rocks. I wonder if this will be more important later. Once we tried to leave the town, we ran into the third gym leader Karina with her Lucarios, and she challenges us to a battle, which we were pretty outmatched by since Lucario has good attacks while we're pretty squishy. After more tries of being pummeled, I decided to use some of the rare candies my raccoon troop picked up and grind it up a level so Blobby can learn a new move in Muddy Water. Thanks to that, the battle went swimmingly. Get it? On the way to Shadowlore City, we had some trouble against some trainers who had fighting-type Pokemon, which made me reset the game a few times. Not a good sign for the next gym since it's also fighting-type. We got to the Tower of Mastery, which looked pretty dope from the outside, and talked with the Mega Evolution Guru about, well, Mega Evolution. Pretty obvious name, don't you think? Anyway, he told us to choose who should be worthy of using the power, which led me and Serena to having a battle, which I totally won by the way, and letting us move on to the gym to fight Karina officially. Since showing off her blading skills wasn't enough to impress us, she gave us a tough fight in return. Her Mienfoo was easy, but her Hawlucha had enough bulk to tank our hits and get a boost with Power Up Punch to deal big damage to Blobby with a Flying Press, so when we got to Machoke, we were too weak to finish him. With just a few more levels, this should be doable. At level 47, I came back with a Hellberry as insurance, and it went much better. Mienfu was a one-shot with Dragon Pulse, and Halucha got big damage in with Flying Press, but thanks to the berry, I had enough health to not only take it down, but to survive a Rock Tomb from Machoke, even though it lowered my speed. I got worried when it was healed up by a Hyper Potion, but Blobby was still faster and took down Machoke with some Dragon Pulses. Finally, a good battle with an honest win. Even though I won our gym match, I still have to do one more match with Karina to get the Mega Ring. However, I have to use Lucario in battle. Lucky for me, I don't have to win the fight, I just have to Mega Evolve, so I used a non-damaging move to throw the match. Hopefully you guys can look over this battle. After saying our goodbyes, we move on. Thankfully the next part of the game went by a bit easier. I got to the next gym but was challenged by Serena, who I defeat again, and thanks to my Sap Sipper ability, the grass gym went easier than expected. Gym leader Ramos' ace Pokemon Go-Go was tough, but thanks to a nice paralysis, it went down nicely with the rest of his team for an easy win. While crossing the windy desert, we get a call back to Gen 4 where we can't cross to the next town because of a power outage. So we go and investigate, and lo and behold, we find some flare grunts and start following them. We head into the power plant and find two admins looking to steal the power from the city to power up something, which will be important later, but to save some time, we go ahead and beat them up anyways. Once that was done, we go back into the city and look at the beautiful Prism Tower light up again with a very strange black background, and go ahead and challenge the gym inside. Good thing for us, the gym wasn't hard since we resist electricity, and it only took us one try to defeat his electric type team so we can move on. We mosey on over to Route 14, and our group friend suggested we head into this haunted house to hear this lackluster scary story this guy tells us, who then tries to charge us for it. Yeah, that's not happening. After that, we head towards Lavere City and our next roadblock, the Fairy type gym. We can't use Dragon Pulse since fairies are immune, so we have to rely on Return for this gym. Thankfully our attack stat isn't that different from our special attacks, so the gym trainers weren't that bad. Gym leader Valerie though was a different story. Her Mile doesn't have a fairy move, so it was no problem, but next was her Mr. Mime, which likes to set up both reflect and light screens, both which hinders our only ways of attacking and making it bulky at the same time. Sometimes I would manage to get past it, but next is our ace Pokemon Sylvia, which finishes us off no matter how close we get to her. At level 59 I came to see if my odds would be different, but all the battles ended the same way. I even tried equipping a Roselli Berry, which would help me take one fairy move, but it would just keep hitting me enough to take me down. Finally, at level 61, I tried again. Mile went down easy with 2 Money Waters, Mr. Mime set up both up a light screen and a reflect before going down to a couple of returns, and then came Sylveon. A return barely did a quarter of her health before she started using Charm to lower my attack stat further, so there goes that. I started using Muddy Water, which didn't do much better, but it did lower her accuracy by 1 stage as Light Screen started wearing off. I went for it again, doing more damage and lowering her accuracy again, but took big damage from a Dazzling Gleam. I thought it was done for as I went for another Muddy Water to do more damage, but thanks to the 2 accuracy drops, Sylveon missed her next Dazzling Gleam, giving Blobby the chance to finish her off the next turn. Man, that was a lucky win. I could have missed any of those moves. We win the Fairy Badge and move on. After getting past the halfway point in the game, I start to notice a trend with each coming trainer battle. If we come across a fighting or ice type Pokemon that can take a hit from Blobby, we end up losing since our defense stat is horrible. I don't normally skip trainer battles because of losing experience, but having to level up for random trainer battles makes me lose hope with this challenge. That becomes much more apparent in the Frost Cavern, which mostly has ice and fighting type Pokemon trainers in there. I've had to reset many times because I kept fainting to battles in there. Thankfully, the Team Flare people didn't have such Pokemon, so it was nice to get this area over with. After another rival battle later, we get to Anastar City. I love that name, by the way. As we head into the second gym, which went pretty easy. Even Olympia, the gym leader, wasn't that tough since 2 of our Pokemon were weak to Thunderbolt. Even though her Slowking put me to sleep with Yawn and cost me the first battle, the second try I got a crit on it, which gave me plenty of health for her Meowstic to win the Psychic Badge. As soon as I leave the gym, our rival comes up to battle us again, but we get an announcement from good old Linemane that he wants to destroy the world to make it beautiful again. Who would have guessed the eccentric guy in the game was planning something bad? Oh well, let's go take care of this. I head back to Lumia City and enter the suspicious Red Cafe and battle the waiters who block the secret entrance behind some furniture. When we enter, we have our first battle with Lysander, and we win without trouble, but I get a feeling that this is just the beginning. After his defeat, he goes to prepare the weapon, but locks the door behind him, so we spin and teleport all around the base to find the key which the admins have. At least we get some good experience from doing so. However, there was a point where I couldn't beat 2 of them because the battles were back to back, so I couldn't heal in between battles. But the good thing is, I just skip the room they're in and keep navigating around the base until I find the right door with the right admin. After getting the key, we open the door to the elevator and walk into the basement to find this really tall homeless man in a cell talking about how he built the ultimate weapon for his beloved Pokemon, but then used it for revenge against the world. It was quite a story. Lysander took the key he had and led us to the activation room. We defeat some creepy scientist who tells us to choose one of the buttons to deactivate the weapon, but of course he was lying and activated the device anyways, which we find out that the Strange Rocks and Geoascend town was actually a giant flower machine. Who would have guessed? We head to the town to find the entrance behind this pile of rocks that one guy disappeared to, and head deep underground to the command center. We have another fight with Lysander as he tries to buy time for his machine to work. His Mienshao would have been a problem, but he missed a high jump kick, so it took itself out. Pyroar couldn't take a couple of muddy waters, and the rest of his team was easy pickings with Thunderbolt. After fighting wave after wave of grunts on the way toward the power source of the machine, we find out that the source is actually the legendary Pokemon Yveltal, which we have to battle, but I just threw our Master Ball at it to avoid a total carnage. As if 2 beatdowns weren't bad enough for him, Lysander comes back with a weird getup and some cool glasses to take back his power source. Unfortunately for us this time, he's a challenge. His first 3 Pokemon went down easy because of a couple of crits and misses, but his ace Pokemon Gyarados can now Mega Evolve, is faster, and has Outrage as a move. Add that all up, and I got a big problem. I tried many times after that, but I couldn't even make it to his Gyarados because either his Mienshao would take me out with some high jump kicks, or I would miss enough Muddy Waters against his Pyroar and it would take me out. All to fall against Gyarados, who would just land the finishing blow. Even after leveling up to level 77 and finding a Quick Claw, hoping to get lucky, the result would still be the same. This is a fight I just can't brute force my way to victory. I need to come up with a plan. After a lot of thinking and testing some moves and items around, this is what I came up with. Atop Blobby's Substitute. I know for a fact that if I level him up just a bit more, he would outspeed Gyarados, giving him the chance to set up some substitutes to take a couple of hits of Outrage until Gyarados got confused. That way, if he hits himself just one time, I can finish him off with some Thunderbolts. It's not the best plan, but it's all I got. At level 80, I came back to try out the strategy, but even though Blobby was 31 levels higher than Mienshao, he still couldn't defeat it with one shot. So he took too much health damage for my strategy to work. I need just a bit more power. Finally, at level 84, Mienshao wasted its turns using Sword Stance, so Dragon Pulse was finally powerful enough to be a one-shot. Pyroar hit her Hyper Voice before going down to Muddy Water, and Honchkrow couldn't take a Thunderbolt, so now we're back to Gyarados. Being faster now, we started setting up substitutes as he goes for Outrage for 2 turns, confusing himself in the process. We go for Thunderbolt to bring itself into the yellow, and Gyarados hits himself in confusion, letting us deal the killing blow to finally beating this battle at last. Lysander really didn't like us ruining his plans, so in the biggest rage out in the entire series, he decides to blow himself up and the facility with him as we run for our lives. After escaping, the group decides to forget this event ever happened just to continue on our journey. Which is good enough for me, because I got a challenge to finish. After a couple of routes later, we find our next useful TM, Sludge Bomb, which means we finally have an answer for fairy types. And to make it even better, we found a Toxic Plate to boost its power. We then go through a battle gauntlet with our friends to see how we all progress throughout the game, and thanks to our new move and some healing by Trevor in between battles, it was a decent distraction. As we reached Snowbell City, I suddenly had this chill run down my spine, full pun intended, cause now we got the Ice Gym to beat. After finding the gym leader taking care of some local wildlife and asking him to return to the gym, we had to claim our last badge, when we run into an unexpected problem. You see, I knew that if I couldn't take out the trainer's mons in time, they would crush me since I'm weak to ice. But what I didn't expect was to be stopped cold, I did not plan that one, was by this Ace Trainer's Cryogonal. Like, the amount of times I had to reset because I just couldn't deal enough damage was ridiculous. Sometimes I would get a crit, but it would just confuse me and use Recover to stay healthy while I healed myself and eventually would take me down. I only barely managed to get past it by equipping a Quick Claw, using a combo of Sludge Bomb and Substitute, and having amazing luck by not getting hit in confusion to beat this trainer. This is definitely a bad sign for the gym leader. So, here's how this experience went. Wolfric sent out Snow Bomb, which is part grass type, so Sludge Bomb will take it out nicely, even though we took big damage from Ice Beam. Second out, however, is another Cryogonal, which of course takes our hits pretty well and takes us out with Ice Beam. This does not look good. After a couple of level ups and retries later, it was looking pretty bad for us, until suddenly I had the thought to look at Cryogonal's stats. It was then I found out why it was doing so well against us. It has a great special defense stat and speed, but also a bad physical defense stat. So we replaced the move with Return to see if it worked better, and look at that, it was a one-shot. Remember kids, do your research before struggling for hours against a simple Pokemon. The battle, however, isn't over as his ace Avalugg comes out. Good news for me though is that I already know it has a bad special defense stat and is also really slow. So thanks to that and stepping down the confusion, a couple of Dragon Pulses nets us the final badge. Man, never thought Ice types would be such a pain this run. With that finally done, we can head off to fight the Elite Four. Or so I thought. Inside the Cave of Victory Road, we had this unskippable trainer blocking our path. So we ended up battling him, and guess what? She has a level 60 Weavile, another ice type, who's not only fast as hell, but also does a lot of damage with Ice Punch. I wasn't at full health my first attempt, so I healed up and tried again. I was able to take at least one hit, but couldn't do enough in return with any move I tried. And I couldn't even get lucky with my Quick Claw because it has Quick Attack to finish us off. So I kept trying many different moves, which includes Hidden Power Fire that I got from someone, which also could have been useful at the ice gym, but it's too late for that. But I still couldn't take it down, not even getting a crit that entire time. At this point I thought to myself, okay, I have some rare candy saved up, so I'll just max out my level and it should be enough to take it out, right? Nope. Even at level 100, I was shocked that my biggest roadblock would be a random trainer's Weavile. I was so worried that this would be the end of the run, but I tried one more idea. I thought that Blobby's return was doing more damage than his Dragon Pulse, although not by much. So I went to look for a Silp Scarf to boost its power, and thankfully, it was enough to finally beat it. That must have been a damage range or something, because I thought it would have been left with a sliver even after all of that. But the run was still very much alive. Crisis was avoided, so let's move on. The rest of Victory Road wasn't much hassle. We had some close calls with the last arena battle, but a change of held items and some moves quickly got us through it. And we finally made it to the Pokemon League, which in my opinion is one of the best looking ones. Let's take one last look at our stats. Our special defense is great, but our physical defense is really bad. The rest are pretty decent, so hopefully it's enough to at least get us to the champion. Make your final guesses if you think we can win this or not. Let's do this. First up is Water Trainer Seabold. Thanks to Thunderbolt and our Magnet held item, his first 3 Pokemon went down easy with one hit. His Barbarical survived as it retaliated with a powerful Stone Edge, but we're faster, so 2 hits and we win. Next is Drasna the Dragon Trainer, but thanks to our Dragon Pulse boosted with the Draco Plate, it was a simple one-shot sweep. Third is Fire Trainer Malva, and this one actually took a couple of tries. The first try I thought it was going to be another sweep with Muddy Water, but when I got to Chandelure, the move misses and Blobby gets hit with Confuse Ray and hits himself the next turn, resulting in a loss. The next couple of attempts didn't go well because our leading Pyroar was using Noble Roar, dropping our physical and special attack stats, so we couldn't do as much damage as before. So eventually we were whittled down by her attacks. Finally, after 15 tries, her Pyroar attacks us with Hyper Voice instead, and we were lucky enough to hit all of our Muddy Waters to take her down. Last member is Steel Trainer Wigstrom. Klefki goes first by using Torment, which prevents us from using the same move twice, but is easily taken down by Thunderbolt and Muddy Water. Probopass comes out next, and we had to use Thunderbolt since we were still tormented, but we got paralysis out of it. It wasn't enough as Wigstrom uses a full restore to heal, but our next Muddy Water hit, and with our next Thunderbolt, it goes down. His ace Pokemon Aegislash is our biggest threat as it uses King Shield to block our first hit, while we have to use Thunderbolt for a third of its health. It changes into attack mode to hit us back with a strong Iron Head, but it never switches back into defense as we finish it off with another Muddy Water. Last is Scizor, but since our health is low, he uses Bullet Punch to finish us off. I gotta switch my methods for this fight. What I do is replace some moves with Hidden Power and Substitute, so when I get to Aegislash, I'll have something to take the hit when it changes form. The second attempt went okay, but I used Substitute at the wrong time, so when I eventually got to Scizor, it was still within Bullet Punch range. On my third attempt, everything was going so much better. Klefki didn't use a status move, so it went down easy. I got 2 accuracy jumps from Muddy Water on Probopass, so it couldn't hit us. Aegislash didn't go back into shield mode after it attacked us, so it went down easy. And even though our substitute was gone, we had plenty of health left to take a hit from Scizor to finish the fight with a Hidden Power. All the Elite Four members are defeated. A big door opens with a bright light shining behind it. We head inside, make some last minute adjustments to our moveset, step on the platform, and it rises us up to the Radiant Chamber in our final battle. Pokemon Champion Diantha. Our Quick Claw activated right away, so Blobby went first and one-shot her Hawlucha with Thunderbolt. Pretty good start. Next, her Aurora takes big damage from our Dragon Pulse as it sets up Reflect, which is good for us since we don't have a physical move. It goes down to another Dragon Pulse. Our big sister Goodra comes out next, and we trade Dragon Pulses, mine doing more of course. Diantha uses a full restore but to no avail as our Quick Claw activates and Blobby takes it down as well as our following Tyrantrum with Dragon Pulses. Gorgas is next. Dragon Pulse puts it in red health as it uses Trick or Treat to give us the Ghost typing, which doesn't help it as we use Sludge Bomb to finish the job. Finally, she sends out Gardevoir, the goddess of death. She Mega Evolves and somehow we go first and hit a Sludge Bomb, but sadly it doesn't take her out as she finishes off with a Moonblast. I knew things were going too smoothly, so let's try again. I replaced Muddy Water with Substitute to have something to take a Moonblast when we get to Gardevoir again. However, when I finally did get to her with a sub up, she still went first on the second turn. I thought it was because we had a speed tie and I rolled in her favor, so I kept trying my strategy. A couple more tries later and I got to Gardevoir again, but it went exactly as the first time. I was generally confused for a couple of minutes until I remembered something important. When Mega Evolution was first introduced in Gen 6, the user didn't get their stat boost until the following turn, which means that Blobby is only faster than Gardevoir on the first turn, which also means that we need another plan. After another hour of attempts and a decent night's sleep, I gave it a few more tries, but sadly it still ended in the same situation. With all my options exhausted, I ended up using my last resort. I taught Blobby Double Team. I personally don't like to use this, as I feel like it kinda cheapens the run, but I'm literally out of options. Plus, I really want to get this video out. With some luck and a few tries, I'm sure this will work. Hawlucha is first, somehow faster than me, hits a flying press for little damage as I kill it with Thunderbolt. Aurorus is out again and we start using double teams. He sets up a Reflect and tries using Blizzard, but thanks to its low accuracy, Blobby got 3 double teams in, so now we go on the offensive. We use a Dragon Pulse and Sludge Bomb to take it to half health, also while getting a Poison as a bonus. Aurora sneaks in a Blizzard at us, dropping us to low health, but we survive getting more hits in as Diantha uses a full restore. Thankfully he didn't get another Blizzard, and our leftovers heal us just enough to take him down. Goodra is out next, and just like before, we just exchange Dragon Pulse because we're faster and we take it down. Tyrantrum is still a one-shot, so it goes down, and next out is Gourgeist. We do big damage with Sludge Bomb as it uses Phantom Force. I take this chance to use another double team, thinking Blobby was still gonna get hit, but surprisingly the move misses. Very interesting. Diantha uses another full restore, but it didn't matter as with 2 Sludge Bombs, the pumpkin gets pulverized. We're finally face to face again with Gardevoir. In Mega Evolves, Blobby goes for the Sludge Bomb the first turn and it does more than half damage. She goes for a Moonblast, it misses. Next turn, Gardevoir goes first. I cross all my fingers, she uses a Moonblast, and it misses. With our final spit of Poison Sludge, we take out the Mega Evolved Pokemon to beat the champion and win the game. Holy crap, that took a while. I know that I said I expected fairy types to be your biggest problem in this run, but man, the trainers that had ice types made up a huge chunk of the difficulty. It goes to show that even though pseudo legendaries are some of the best Pokemon in the game, that doesn't mean that their entire evolution line will have an easy time. Thank you all for watching this run. For my next challenge, we're off to the Alola region as we find out, can I beat Pokemon Sun with only Minior? If you liked the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below and tell me what you think. Have a great day or night wherever you live, and until next time guys, stay awesome.